Hey, good morning, brothers and sisters in Christ. It is about 6:35 a.m. right now here on Monday, and I'm actually supposed to be at work, but one of my clients ended up waking up late, and yeah, so I ended up staying home. I got some duties to do. I'm around the house here, laundry and all of that stuff. My kids are out of school. And I just want to go ahead and apologize in advance if you guys hear any snoring or whatever, because my boys decided to bunk in the living room, and they're both asleep right now, and they snore. So, this morning, if you don't follow me on Facebook, I highly recommend that you do, because I post a lot more on Facebook than I do here on YouTube. Just look me up by my name, D-E-E, Henningberg, H-E-N-I-N-G-B-U-R-G. Look me up on Facebook, because I post a lot of really good stuff, spirit-led stuff. I don't go on rants or anything like that. Everything is I feel from the Lord, from the scriptures, so on and so forth. One of the things that I talked about this morning is something that has been going on. It's always been a problem, but we've seen this increase at an alarming rate, and what that is basically human trafficking. Okay, so human trafficking. We've heard of sex trafficking, which pretty much involves primarily females, but I know that there's some really sick people in this world, male or female. It's just wrong, but it seems to be an issue that primarily targets females. Kids, young adults, even older females or whatnot. And it's just been it's been really on the rise, we'll say. When I log on to Facebook, I've been seeing that there have been multiple arrests in leads of sex trafficking rings, especially here locally in my city, all around the nation. And I think that's wonderful. I think that it's a great thing that these organizations are being brought to justice, and some of these kids are being brought home. Some of these young ladies and young men are being brought home, because it's just horrible to think about a child not in their home. They're far away somewhere they don't know. They're scared, only to be hurt over and over, victimized. And I just couldn't imagine. I laid in the bed this morning, and I was just really thanking God for my kids being safe, and just saying a prayer for all of the parents out there who have children who have been abducted, who have children who have been taken against their will, who have kids who have been victims of sex trafficking. And I hate it. I hate it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and go into details. I hate it. And if you're a God-fearing person and you love the Lord and you have children of your own, I'm sure that you hate it, just as much as I do, because if you have kids, you can relate. You just can't see your child not coming home. You can't see your child being taken by someone else. Nobody imagines that, and you don't think about it until it happens to you. And I don't know. It's just, I would lose it. I would lose it. Like I said, I got I got 3 kids. You know, I got 1 teenager and 2 smaller kids, and I knowing the type of person that I am, I wouldn't be able to cope with that. So my heart and my prayers sincerely go out to those who have people who have been abducted. But you know, the main reason I decided to make this video is because yesterday, as we were coming home from church, you know, again, I'm looking on Facebook and I see human trafficking. So, you know what, I just asked God, I'm like, why is this happening? Like, what's going on? Like, why is there an increase of this? And I know that we're in the last days. I know that there are going to be perilous times, which means horrible, horrible, terrible times in life. I know that. But I just had to ask God, like, why is it now? Like, what is it? Like, why are people coming up missing? So, I remember about a month ago, you know, me and my wife, we watched this movie. And, no, actually we watched 2 movies. And one of the movies was a foreign movie, and the other movie was in English. The foreign movie was about a woman trying to rescue her adopted daughter, her kidnapped daughter. And basically her daughter, you know, was kidnapped by some people who were in the sex trafficking, probably even more than that, organization. So she's chasing these people throughout the whole movie, just trying to get her daughter back. And ultimately, she ends up finding her daughter locked away on this train, along with a whole bunch of other kids as well. Oh, something else just came to mind. But we'll bring it up. I'll bring it up in a minute. And, you know, so the movie that we watched right after that, like literally right after that, had to do with a man going on vacation with his family. So they stop at this rest area, and his daughter was like being reckless, and she fell off of this ledge and ended up hitting the back of her head. So they ended up taking her to the hospital. And really, you know, without making this video too long, because I'm trying to keep the attention of everybody out there, so please bear with me. As they took the little girl to the hospital, the man, I guess it's fair for me to say that he was mentally ill. So he had it in his head that the hospital was trying to hide his daughter and his wife. So ultimately, in the end, he finds out that, well, he thinks that they are harvesting human organs under the hospital. Like, they're taking people who are not sick or who don't require extensive surgery, and they're cutting them open, essentially killing them, just to take, you know, their organs from them. Okay, so, but the movie ended up being, it was kind of weird, but it really didn't have a good ending, which is not really something you see often, you know, movies with bad endings. But the take-home message was, these 2 movies that we watched back to back, both involve human trafficking and human harvesting. Now, human harvesting is something that we don't hear about every day. We don't hear about human harvesting every day. We hear about human trafficking, but we don't hear about human harvesting. So some people may be like, what is human harvesting? So human harvesting is the act of selling, and this sounds horrific, and you almost don't even want to believe that it's true, but it is. There's nothing new under the sun. People have been doing horrible things for centuries, okay? Human harvesting is when you sell organs on the black market, okay? Now, I have my phone here, and I've pulled up, you know, some of the value of human organs, and I'm pretty sure that, You probably didn't know this. I didn't know this because this isn't common knowledge. But there are some people out there who do know this. And I sincerely believe this is one of the reasons we see so many people coming up missing right now, okay? All right, so the human heart, you're not going to believe this, actually has a value of $1 million. $1 million for a human heart, okay? 1 million. Livers are worth a little bit over $500,000. Okay, $557,000 to be exact. And kidneys are around $262,000. Now I'm pretty sure there are other organs that are harvested, but when you hear about transplants and stuff like that, you primarily hear about kidney transplants, liver and heart transplants, pretty much. You know, those are the main organs that we hear about when people are in need of an organ, okay? There are over 800,000 children who go missing every year, and that number seems to be increasing. You know, children have really young organs, and I would imagine that the heart and the liver and the kidneys of the youth would be worth a lot more than the heart of an 80-year-old person. This is why you don't really hear about a lot of elderly people going missing. You know, there's some elderly people that go missing, but I don't believe that they're being kidnapped. You know, a lot of them go missing because some of them suffer from dementia or Alzheimer's. You know, they're not really in their right mind. I've known people to go into houses that are not their house. You know, they'll leave home and not even know where they're at, who they are, or where they go. But, you know, kids, on the other hand, are like on the other end of the spectrum. You know, they're young, strong, healthy, haven't experienced any health issues, so their organs are really, really, really strong. And I sincerely believe that the reason we see so many abductions and so much human trafficking is because of organ harvesting. I really believe that to be true. Now, I don't believe that the pedophiles are doing all of it. Yes, it is. You can throw that in there. The sex offenders, yes. The cold-hearted murderers, you know, which I sincerely believe falls into the category of human trafficking, of organ harvesting. And I just really believe that that's why we see so many people missing, why we see so many kids going up missing. You know, some people may think, oh, this sounds crazy. Look, the Bible tells us that there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing sounds crazy to me. Nothing sounds crazy to me. The only thing that's crazy is people who don't have eyes to see and ears to hear, and people who dismiss things upon hearing them instead of doing their own research and putting things together. Because if you did your own research, you would know that there is a black market that exists when it comes to human organs. There's a black market for everything. There's a black market for pharmaceuticals. There's a black market for weapons. There's a black market for human organs. Why wouldn't there be? You know, there's a black market for everything. And when I saw how much, you know, those organs were worth, then that gives me even more of a reason to believe that in the hearts of, no pun intended, but in the hearts of evil people, that would give them that much more intentions and motivation to kidnap people. Like, you kidnap 3 teenagers. That's 3 hearts. That's $3 million right there. on the black market. The 2 kidneys are worth, that's $1 million alone. So basically, from, like I said, 3 people, what is that, like, that's 3 million for the hearts. Let me see. I said livers. Yeah. I don't know the statistics. I think the livers were a little bit over 500,000. Not that good with math, but it's a whole lot of money. Just do the math. It's a lot of money, okay? And that gives me even more of a reason to believe that that's why we see so many people turning up missing. So, what can we do to stop this? What can we do to prevent human trafficking? Well, I'm gonna put it like this. We live in a world to where everybody feels like that they're so busy. They're too busy to do anything. They're too busy to just look up, because we're so busy doing this, Phone down. Put the phone down. And we need to start being our brother's keeper. We need to start watching out for our kids, and not just our kids. When I say our kids, I mean your neighbor's kids. I mean kids that you see all around. Like, I'll go to my grandmother's house, about once a week or so. And, in her neighborhood, their kids, we grew up running the streets and stuff like that. But times are a lot different now than they were back then. I see little 7, 8-year-old kids, riding their bikes in the neighborhood, unattended, so on and so forth. Like us, we don't let our kids play outside by themselves. Like, we're out there with them. Like, we're not going to just send our kids outside. There's some parents that just send their kids outside just so they can get some peace, just so they can get a break, just so they can get about 15, 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes of quiet time. I know, trust me, I'm a parent, and we want that quiet time too. But I don't think it's responsible to just send your child outside just so you can get some quiet time, because if your child, God forbid, comes up missing, then you're going to get everything but peace. You're going to get everything but quiet time. Okay, so we need to start watching our kids, okay? Looking around, paying attention to suspicious vehicles, paying attention to suspicious people, always being on alert, always being ready, always just being diligent, because we're living in the last days, people, and people are getting desperate. The hearts of men are waxing even more colder, which means it's not really taking much for people to snap and to just do the ungodly in this society right now, because we see an increase of violence when it comes to kids. We see an increase of violence when it comes to people. People are literally going mad, and we need to pray. We do. We need to pray. We need to pray and fast. We need to seek God, seek the Lord Jesus Christ in these times, and pray for his protection, because it's horrible, and it's not going to get better. That's the thing. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. Times the time is short, and the enemy knows that, so he's trying very, very hard to cause as much chaos on the earth as he possibly can, and he's doing just that. So, but other than that, besides what can we do to stop it, there's really not much we can do except for doing our due diligence, taking responsibility, watching our kids, paying attention to what our kids are doing on the internet and stuff like that, asking questions. Where are you going? Go with them as much as they hate it, because you really don't want that nightmare. And I know it's a nightmare for a lot of people out there who have kids missing. And my heart goes out to any of you out there who may be watching this and you have missing children. I'm sorry that you're going through that right now. I really am. Like I said, I'm a father of 3. Like I said, my kids are right there on the wall. There's a couple of pictures, but my heart goes out for you, and I almost want to cry. be honest with you, because nobody ever thinks that their kid's going to be taken from them. You know, nobody ever thinks that they'll ever lose, you know, their child, you know, due to something like this. Nobody thinks like that, and you shouldn't have to. But in the current world that we live in right now, we have to think like we didn't used to think, because we have to be careful about everything we do. We got to watch everywhere we go. You know, we just have to be diligent. You know, we can save kids, we can save people, we can make a difference, but we just have to stop acting like we're so busy to do that. So, all right, guys, this video is long enough. Please pray for those out there who have missing kids and who have been victims of human trafficking and sex trafficking and organ harvesting. You know, do your research, people. Don't take my word for it. It's real. God bless you all. Have a blessed day. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe.